Yo, what's up everybody? So we've got a new Dota bot template. Alright? The way we do things around here is, you guys help out by making the Dota bots and I make videos and we play them on stream. It's kind of a cool synergistic thing, I think. But as part of it, of course, we need Dota bots. So we've prepared a template for you. Now, in case you aren't aware, creating Dota bots right now is actually quite difficult because couriers don't work properly. It's like we can't really spawn couriers properly, meaning people don't really have passive GPM. And that's one of the big features of the new bot template. It has working couriers, it has working passive GPM. The couriers work just like they do in normal Dota. Now that's not because we have access to some secret code that Valve has given us. No, we just recreated the shit from scratch. But anyway, so let's get into it. Creating Dota bots is actually quite easy. Any of you can do it. And after we're done here, you will know how. Like, it's really not that difficult. So the first thing you guys need to do is you need to go to Yonical's GitHub and go to this page, add-on template bot. All right, I'm going to link it in the description. You don't need to know where this is or what the link to this is. Like, doesn't matter. It's just, you need to, this is in the description. So there's also a lot of documentation here, right? If you just scroll through here, a lot of stuff is explained. I will explain stuff to you, but not necessarily all of this. So if you want to have a more detailed look, I actually very much recommend just going on here, reading through it, having a look at all of these useful links and all of that stuff. All right, it's a good thing. So the first thing you have to do, the very first thing, is actually not even going here. It's you gotta go to your Dota, right? And then you gotta, I think, go on properties here, which will open up this right here, right? So you go on properties. I think you can also right click here and then go on properties, although my face is on top of that. And then you go on DLC, and then it is Dota 2 Workshop Tools DLC. You have to check that box. If you don't have that, you can't do anything, all right? This is like the first important thing. If you check that, it will download some stuff. Once you have it downloaded, we can move on. But you gotta download that first. So let's assume you have this downloaded. The next thing you do is you go on here, you click here, clone or download, and then download the zip. Cool. This will download a zip, which after you unzip it, will look like this. All right, this is the zip file for it. Now, in here, you will have content, game, git ignore, license, readme, all of this stuff. You can mostly ignore this. The readme has some more information, which is useful, but, what we need is game and content. But before we do that, before we do anything with this, we first have to open up our tools. So, we click on Dota 2 here. Right? We click on play. And then nothing happens apparently. There we go. Oh, that was weird. All right. So you click on play and then this window should open. We have play Dota 2 or launch Dota 2 tools. You want to select launching Dota 2 tools. So now that you launch that, you open up this window. Great, more windows. Although we're actually now getting to the point where we are almost there. So, the first thing you have to do in here is you want to go in here, right? And you want to create an empty add-on. So we can call that whatever we want. I'm going to call mine Dota 2, Dota Bot Showcase 2019 1. There we go. This is some nice naming, that way I know what this is. But you go ahead and you create that. Now you can see it has created this in here and it's immediately made it default. The next thing you want to do is you want to go into your Steam library, wherever you have it, right? Just Steam library. You go into then you go into Steam apps, common, Dota 2 beta, and then you can see here we have content and we have game. We need to go into both those folders. First, let's go into content. So you go into content, then into Dota add-ons, then you can see whatever you named it, right? But you can see the game name now. You want to click in here, and then you have this. Now this is where we stay for now, because what we do now is we go into our previous folder here with the add-on template but master, and you can see we're in content here. So what we want to do is we want to go into content here as well, Dota add-ons, add-on template but, go ahead and copy this and put it in here. That's it. That's all you have to do. Then we go back. All right, so we go back, go back, go back. Now we are back in the Dota 2 beta folder. We click on game. We click on Dota add-ons. And then we have Dota 2 but Showcase 2019-1. Same as before. Right, we open that. Then back in the template but master, we go to game. Dota add-ons, click through here. Select all of this, copy paste it in here. And then replace everything, right? Just make sure you're replacing. And that's it. At this point, you're actually already done in terms of installing the template. So we have this now. And now, you know what? Actually, to make this a little bit easier, right? What you can do now is, now that you have set your template, you can create a new add-on from existing add-ons. So we could select this and then create this, right? Which is then Dota but crazy, whatever. All right. And then you create this, and this should now also use the template, right? If we go back in here, we are in Dota add-ons. You can see this looks the same, right? These two look exactly the same because this is a copy. So once you have set up the template like this, you can just easily go in here and always create an add-on from this template, as long as you leave the template on its own. And then when we update the template, eventually you just create a new base file, and then you just keep creating games from that original file you've created. All right. So we're going to go ahead and actually just use this, because why not? Now, what's going to be happening now that we have selected this, so you want to double click it, opens up the tools. Dota will open in the background, as well as this, the asset browser. Now, in the asset browser, we don't really have to do anything yet. I would then click on this. You can see Dota.vmap. You want to double click on this. This will then open Hammer, which Hammer is Dota 2 map editor. All right? Hammer is pretty important. Hammer is pretty good too, actually. Like as far as things go, as far as map editors go, Hammer is actually a pretty good one. So here's where we have Hammer. Now in Hammer, you can do various fun little things. So for example, you can go in here and modify the Dota map if you want to, right? You can change things around and modify the map. Now, if you go in here and you modify the map, then you need to, in the next step that we're about to do, you need to click build, right? If you don't modify the map, then you don't really have to click build. I would still strongly recommend you click build at least once whenever you play your game. Before you upload your game to the workshop, make sure you have clicked build at least once, even if you change absolutely nothing about the map, because if you don't do that, there's a good chance it just simply won't load once it's on the workshop. Why? I don't know. That's just how it is. All right, don't question it. Anyway, showing the button again, it's this play button up here, right? This controller, run map. You want to click on that. And once we are here, you want to click build if you have changed something about the map, or it is your first time starting this, or you want to just click, otherwise you can just click run. So I'm just going to go ahead and click run because we're not really creating an actual game mode. Now that we have clicked run, there's actually secretly a Dota in the background. At least there's supposed to be. I don't really know why you guys can see it. There's some weird ass shit going on right now. Let me go ahead and try this again. Okay. Well, my OBS is being hella weird right now. All right. Give me 1 second.
Choose your hero.
Does anybody know how you can, like, change the screen that Dota is on?
5 seconds remaining.
I have no idea why this is not working right now. Okay. So you can hear it, right? You can hear that there is Dota, but for some reason it's not, my OBS isn't detecting Dota,
10 seconds remaining.
which is a little weird. Let me select this,
5 seconds remaining.
go back to Dota. All right, well, let me go and just load in really quick.
I am here.
Yeah, you can hear it, right? It's just not really working. So this is something there's nothing wrong with the process right now. There's only something wrong with my recording of it, which is, of course, naturally great. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm just going to restart it. Sorry. I know that's a bit annoying. It's going to take just a tad bit longer. Trust me, I am more annoyed than you are. So I'm just going to go ahead and relaunch the tools. I guess this gives us an opportunity to reiterate how everything works, right? But we are back in the tools here. So if you want to go and edit something, you can see we're here, Dota 2 by Crash says Zay. Click on that. That will launch things then. All right. So in the background, there should be a Dota now. There we go. Look at that. We found the Dota. Perfect. Perfect, perfect, perfect. Then we have our tools, our asset browser here, right? We're going to go ahead and click on selecting the map again, which opens up Hammer. You know, it's actually pretty quick. It's not even that much of a delay. And then we click up here and then we click Run, which will then, as you can kind of tell in the background, maybe start loading something in Dota. There we go. So here we are. Now, gonna go ahead and give a quick warning, right? This is kind of the new template screen. A bunch of this stuff doesn't quite work super well yet. So for example, gold per minute is currently broken. We're going to fix this, right? This will be addressed. This new KB files editor here, don't touch it yet, right? The thing is, there were some plans on doing some cool stuff and they were all tossed out to fix the courier thing, because the courier thing is really an important thing. And I wanted to make this video as soon as the courier thing is fixed, so you guys can start actually making modes again. So there's some features that are coming that are going to be neat. But, you know, they aren't there. So anyway, you can see bot exclusive stuff here, like for example, fixing the courier. All right. But what we're going to do now, for our purposes, we're just going to disable this. It says max level 25. Don't worry about that. The max level is actually 30. Again, there's some sketch stuff in there, but this will all be addressed. You don't need to worry too much about it, though, because in the end, stuff works mostly properly. The important things work just fine. So anyway, we're loading into a game now, and you will see in a second that we are actually just in a normal match of Dota now. Right, we are just playing Vengeful, and this is our custom game. Now, you can tell that it's a custom game. For example, you have this little thing here, which you can activate to turn a tree into a Christmas tree. Yay, beautiful, fantastic, is it not? Alright, is it not gorgeous? Has a long cooldown, apparently. Alright, so what we're gonna do is we're now going to modify this. Oh, that took a little bit. We're now going to modify this. So, you know, as you can see, we are in game, right? Again, I'm going to go back. We're in Dota 2 beta. You want to go into game, Dota add-ons, and then into your game mode. Chris says SSA, right? And in here, you can now change things. So, for most of you, you can ignore pretty much most things here, except for scripts. And now you need NPC and vscripts. In vscripts, you can go in here, and then you can see stuff like settings bot. If you click on that, you can see a bunch of neat settings. So for example, you can say, okay, I want universal shop enabled. I want cooldowns to be higher or lower, right? Like if I change this now, the cooldowns are 50%. Gold gain percentage, okay, let's add a 0 in there. Now it's at 1000%. Now again, GPM is currently kind of broken, but trust me, that will be fixed. Respawn time percentage, right? We can make that 1%. Quick note, if you're making a Dota bot and you want it to actually end, do not put this below 70%. I very much recommend that your respawn timer, compared to normal Dota, if your game mode is similar to normal Dota, should be at 70%. If you do not do that, then I believe you should enable an alternate winning condition, which you can do down here. So you just put a 1 here, not a 4, a 1. And then you can say, okay, I want a time limit and a kill limit, and you set something there. If you put the respawn time percentage like I did at actually 1%, it will just be impossible to actually end the game, and it can be a pain. All right, cool. But you can enable various things like no uphill miss, and, you know, do you want the free couriers, and so on. Although you want to make sure that right now you want to keep this at 1, right? Don't mess with that. If you put it to 0, then it's going to be difficult to deal with. You know, experience per minute. I like to have some experience per minute. I think that's generally good. So let's put 1,000 in there. You can go down here. You've got your experience table. You can mess with that stuff if you want. Now, you can see we've actually already changed quite a few things. And you should be able to tell quite easily that these things have been changed. So all you do now is you save. Control S. Just save it. Now that you've saved it, we go in here. We click Run. And now it's loading. So let me go ahead and jump in over here. Right, this is my screen cap. And you can see now this has actually updated. You know, 1,000% gold rate. Like all of these things have actually been updated. We go ahead and load into a game.
Choose your hero.
Gotta pick a hero and all of that stuff. That takes just a moment. But all of those settings that we have now changed have also changed in game. So that's already like a way how you can modify the game and make it a bit more interesting, right? And kind of like customize it however you want. So if we now click start game here, right, you can see that our experience is ticking like crazy. And let's just, yeah, you know what, I should show it. All right, so let me go ahead and go what the fuck mode really quick so we can teleport into the mid. And I'm just gonna go ahead and kill some of these creeps. Right, so you'll see that we'll get a lot of gold from them, 330, 520. So as you can tell, you know, that this stuff does actually work. And we got, you know, the settings to work. Anyway. Now, there is some other stuff that is quite relevant to you. So, not just this right here, the settings, but there's the settings but there's also settings miscellaneous. So if you go in here, you can change like a whole bunch more shit, right? Like first blood. Do you want first blood? Do you want heroes to respawn at all? Right? Do you want to set the respawn time to a specific amount? Do you want to change the maximum attack speed? Do you want to change the minimum attack speed? Do you want to enable backdoor protection? There's a whole bunch of settings in here, right? Like with this, you're just gonna have a look and just see what you want to do with it. Now, let's be honest. This stuff isn't really what you're here for, dear. And here for, though. Hey, Bob's Guns.
3 years of subscriptions. It happened so fast. I have but one request. Belmy must change his Dota name to be Captain Stinker.
No, sorry, I'm not doing that. Mickey likes the name that I have right now, so I'm gonna keep it. So anyway. But thank you very much, Bob's Guns. So, what you guys really want to change, though, is you want to change heroes. That's what you guys are really interested in. So let me show you how you do that as well. It's actually quite easy. So you want to click on NPC. So again, you want to go back to scripts, right? So this is your Dota bot. You go on scripts and you go on NPC. Now, in here, you will notice a few things, right? You can see there's abilities, and then there's also abilities custom. There's heroes, and there's heroes custom. There's items, and then there's items custom, and then there's also items override. There's neutral items, and then neutral items custom. And then there's units and units custom. So, the important thing here is that Dota will be pulling from this first and this second. So in abilities, you will see that actually all abilities in the game are in this one massive ass file. Right? So for example, there's Anti-Mage's Mana Void, which has, you know, like what? Like crazy mana costs. Like, sorry, what am I saying here? It's got its mana costs, its cooldowns, and all of that stuff. Now, this is where Dota will be pulling its values from. Now, if you want to change that, what you can do is you go into so if you have abilities, you want to click on an NPC abilities custom. Right? There's a default thing in here as an example. You can grab it here. Make sure to not delete this this one, right? Like, make sure to not delete this. But you can start deleting here. Oops, that's wrong. But you can start deleting here all the way up here so that you've got this. Now you grab in NPC abilities, you start grabbing at around here. Get yourself ability anti-mage mana void. Pull it down all the way until it closes back down here. And then you copy this. You go into this right here, copy paste it in. Now, what will end up happening is that any changes we make to this, the game will override over the Dota, like over the natural Dota state. So what I can do here, for example, so I can go in here and I can make this ability cast range 6000, but that's going to be difficult to tell. So what we're also going to do is we're going to reduce the cooldown of this to 7. Why not? Right, and let's make the mana cost of this 10 times as high. Boom. And that's fine for now, right? You trust me, you can change any values here. Now, if you want to be super clean about how you edit this, which I don't really think you need to do with Dota bots, right? Because Dota bots aren't really meant to be maintained usually. They're more meant to like be a funny mode and then you move on to the next. But if you really want to be super clean, then you delete out the stuff that you don't use, but that's fine. So for now, we're going to just leave it like this. What we do is we just save it. Awesome. Now we go back into Hammer. And we run. And once we load in, you will be able to see that we have successfully edited Anti-Mage to have a slightly different ultimate. And you can actually do a lot of stuff like this. So if we look at our Anti-Mage, you can see now that he has significantly higher mana cost, right? And also a cooldown of 7 seconds. And this stuff does actually work. So in case you don't trust me, I don't really know why. Rude. But let's go ahead and start game. Level up 20. Well, that's up. No, let's level up to 30 really quick. Alright, so we level 30 now. We level up all of our stuff here. We actually don't have enough mana to use this. Which is kind of funny. So let's go ahead and get ourselves some gold. And then we grab ourselves some bloodstones. And now we do actually have enough mana. And we go into the mid lane. And we can drop a mana void. And you can see it has... Oh, we actually need to what the fuck this. But you can see it only has 7 seconds. Oh, actually it has like no cooldown now because I got the minus 50 seconds mana void cooldown talent. But I guess that also proves the point. Alright, can we just establish that you guys trust me that this actually works? Alright, Mickey is calling me, which is of course great. Give me just 1 second. Hello, is this important?
Yes, this is important. Are you working?
Yes, I'm in the middle of recording something.
Okay. Oh dear, sorry. I'd like to bring my friend Kathleen over. Could you tidy up a bit?
I clean up the kitchen, but I'll try a bit as soon as I'm done recording here.
Thank you.
Okay, goodbye.
Okay, bye-bye.
All right.
None shall hinder.
So, what are we doing? Oh man, like everything about this tutorial is just falling apart. I'm so sorry, you know. But I want to get this out, okay? So anyway, we have successfully edited Anti-Mage. What else can we successfully edit? Well, there's actually a lot you can do. So we can, for example, actually let's move our Anti-Mage out of the way so we don't have to deal with the sound all the time. But we can, for example, right here. That's the wrong thing. Here we go. Hey, Fluffy Fix, thank you very much for the
Awesome
8 months.
stuff, Balmy. Chroma looks fantastic.
Oh, that's great. I hope it's going to be good. I hope you guys will like it. So, for example, something I think that a lot of you will be really interested in is neutral items. All right, neutral items are the really interesting thing. So with neutral items, you can have a look at this right here. Let me go ahead and explain the structure of this first. This right here is what tier? Right? This will be tier 1. Then we've got the drop rates. When does it start dropping? And what is the drop chance for the first item, for the second item, and for the third item? Now currently, you can't add a 4th, a 5th, or 6th, or whatever. There's only 3 per tier. Sorry. Just how it works right now. All right. And then down here, which items? Now, you can, for example, go in here and say, I want the item kinoptic and I want to put it at a 0. You can do that. You can also just delete the thing, right? Which is a little bit cleaner, right? If you want to get rid of that. So we no longer have the kinoptic in here. All right. Now, let's say I want to go ahead and edit this cleanly though, right? I could edit things in here, but again, it's a bit messy. So let's just go ahead and grab this whole thing and carry it in here. So this is our custom file. Again, this is where we do the editing because we are good little custom game creators. So which ones do we care about? Well, let's say we are pretty happy with numbers 2, 3. Well, actually, you know what? Let's go ahead and get rid of this stuff right here. Don't like that. All right, let's get rid of these. I don't like those. Let's get rid of all of this. Gross. All right, don't like it at all. Get rid of all of these. Only 2 items in that tier and get rid of all of that. Perfect. Let's go ahead and go in here and change this to 20. Let's go ahead and change this to 15. Let's go ahead and change this to 10. Let's go ahead and change this to 5. And let's change this to 1. Perfect. So you can see it's already significantly different. What I can also do is I can, for example, say I would like there to be a tier 6. And then we're going to go ahead and just create a whole tier just like it currently exists over there. So we go ahead and we say drop rates. All right, perfect. We go ahead and create some more of this stuff. And then we say, okay, we would like this number 0 to be 100. Oh, we forgot the timer. Look at us. Sloppy. No good. No good. So, well, when does this start? Let's say this starts at, let's say this starts at 0:30. Well, let's actually, you know what? Let's start this at 1. All right, so tier 6 now starts at 1. And let's go ahead and start this one at minute 2. There we go, better. Then we have our, sorry, we want to go ahead and do this. And now we can add in our items. So we want to go ahead and say this one has a 100% chance for the first item. It has a 100% chance for the second item. And it has a, oh, sorry, we got to do 1 and 2. That's Mabi. And it has a 100% chance for the third item. Perfect. All right, so it's a guarantee to drop. So we have this closed and we have this closed as it is shown up there. Now, we want to go ahead and we want to add in our items. Perfect. We open up one of these and now we can add in the items we want. So for example, we can say item blink dagger is one that we want. Now you don't need to be, you know, super brilliant about how you format this. You can't just do it like that. That's fine. It's not as pretty, but whatever. Right, or we can do item. What else do we want to drop here? I don't know. Bloodstone. Sure. You may notice that I'm not actually putting proper items in here. like I'm not putting proper neutral items in here. I'm just putting items in there. That's because you don't need to actually put neutral items in there. So if you don't know what the items are called, by the way, you can just go into this items list here and you can check. So blades of attack are called that. If we, for example, want to look for bloodstone, okay, bloodstone is just called bloodstone. Right? Item, bloodstone, item, bloodstone. Perfect. Right? If we want to look at divine rapier. So rapier is just called rapier, not divine rapier. So why don't we put in, all right, we're going to put in our bloodstone and then we're also going to put in item rapier. Gotta make sure there's no typos. If you make a typo, it won't work. Perfect. And that's it. Now we have successfully added in, no, I will not purchase your thing. Now we have successfully added in a whole new tier of items, right? With their own drop rates, with their own timing, with their own items. So let me make sure I didn't miss anything, but no, this looks solid. So let's go ahead and go back into Hammer and run the thing. And we're gonna go ahead and see if this works. give it a good old whirl, right? So go ahead and disable banning. So you can see we've kind of created a beautiful little beast right here for custom game. So we're going to go ahead and grab our Anti-Mage with his beautiful mana void, of course. All right? I mean, that's what we created him for. That's why he exists. Lock in Anti-Mage.
Anti-mage.
And then we go in here. We start the game. Create, wait.
Prepare for
Gold. Just giving myself some gold to make this a little bit easier. Right, have it go a little bit quicker. So we now need to wait until the timer is at a minute. But we can already check if it works.
Blink dagger.
Look at that.
Really?
You may notice that actually this right here didn't work. Why did that not work? Huh, I think I made a mistake. What did work for sure, is the tier 6. Right, but I also removed a whole bunch of items from the previous tiers. I must have made a mistake there. I think, okay, let me go ahead and see if I can fix that really quick. It seems if you want to remove those, right? Let me just go ahead and remove everything except for Keen Optic from tier 1. You need to actually remove it from the neutral items.txt file as well, not just in the override. Because the override, you know, if I don't include it here, that means it doesn't work. So what I could probably do in the override is I could change force boots to 0, right? So let's check this. Tier 1 should now only include the Keen Optic, and this tier, which will be tier 5, should not include the force boots. So let's go ahead and just reload this really quick. Make sure that we get that right. Don't want to make an error here and then let it stand. But the big thing here... Hey, to be or not to be, thank you very much for the sub. The big thing here is like we couldn't overwrite it like that because we're not modifying it. Right, by leaving it out, we are... yeah. So you want to make sure that if you're removing something, you want to change it to 0. Or you want to... remove it from the neutral items.txt file. Although that will make editing it later a little bit more difficult. Anyway, we're almost done here. Alright, lock in Anti-Mage.
Anti-mage.
Perfect. Start game. So, let's have a look at the items. So you can see tier 1 is now removed and tier 5 does not have... No, it does have force boots. Alright, you just want to fucking remove them then. Alright, here's how you remove items from the thing. Alright, you just delete them. Alright, that's what you do. You go into the neutral items.txt thing and delete them. There you go. Sorry. Turns out I was wrong about that. But the tier 6 thing we did, that is still working as intended. Right, that is actually how it works. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I was wrong. Forgive me. So we're gonna go ahead and get ourselves some gold really quick. There's only one thing really left to test here, which is do we actually get the items we selected from the neutral creeps? Right? We want to drop a Divine Rapier, a Bloodstone, and a Blink Dagger. There's a Blink Dagger. There's a Bloodstone. And finally, there's a Divine Rapier. Look at that. Beautiful. So, I hope you guys found this helpful. Right? I hope this worked for you. Again, if you want to create some Dota bots, it's very easy. As you can see, I don't know what the hell I'm doing, and even I can do it. So there's a link in the description. Go ahead, have a look, play around with it a little bit. Now, one thing I should actually show before I leave here, how to upload the thing. So you're done with your Dota bot. You have created this beautiful piece of art like I just did, right? And you think it is ready to be unleashed. Before you do that, I recommend you click build one more time, right? This button right here. Just to be on the safe side. It'll take 5 minutes and then you're just on the safe side. Okay? Then, you want to go into the asset browser and you want to click Workshop Manager. This will then open up this window right here after saying downloading workshop files. And then it will show you a bunch of stuff here. In here, you can now click New Submission. And then you get this window where you put in your title, your description, a thumbnail, all of that stuff. And then you submit it. Now, this will actually sometimes take a while. You might not immediately see your game on the workshop because Valve manually approves all of them, right, to prevent spamming. So it can take a few hours until you actually see your game on the workshop. All right, cool. But that's it. That's all you need to know. So I hope to see some of your games on the workshop soon. Yeah, please go ahead, go wild. We'll be updating the template. So, kind of keep an eye out on that. And I'll see you guys around. Have a good day, everybody.